The reason why you're struggling to win games in Madden 26 is because your defense keeps selling you. But don't worry, because in this video, I'm breaking down the top 5 defenses you need to be running, including new setups the top MCS pros were using in Madden Bowl. I will warn you though, if you skip out on any of these defenses, they might not fit your specific playstyle, and you could be left high and dry. Let's jump right into it. Alright, first I'm going to show you the setup that Drini used to win the championship. Let me show you. Alright, so we're going to come into dime 3-2. We're going to make sure we've auto flip off, okay? And the play we want to make sure we're calling is cover 4 quarters, okay? This is a loop blitz. You're going to take this linebacker right here, and you're going to drag him over here. Now, you're going to notice how he's going to walk back over. You have to bump him into number 0 in order for him to stay, or whoever's at the other linebacker. Now you see he's going to stay, and he's going to be looping around this gap. Alright, and so we're going to go ahead and take the snap, and you're going to watch how he's going to loop around that line, and he's going to help collapse the pocket. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of the time he's going to come in free. Obviously, I'm never going to sell you a false dream and tell you it's going to happen every time, but you can notice how much faster that pocket's going to collapse simply because he's actually looping around the line. Now, I'm going to set it up the same way right here. Right, I'm going to bump him, and then I'm going to control this guy and probably stand right here just over the guard to try to get his attention, right? And so we're also in match coverage, cover 4 quarters behind this, which is going to make our coverage better. So we're going to go ahead and take the snap. You're going to notice how this time, again, he loops all the way around, which is going to help collapse the pocket. Now, we're going to go through it one last time here because I do want to show you that, you're going to have a good user as well. When you're in match coverage, a lot of times, so one person can get open, right? So I'm going to bump him. He's going to stay right here, all right? And now I'm really going to focus on, having a good user here, maybe switch sticking. I just have to cover this, and then you're able to see. I mean, when you have talented pass rushers on the other side as well, it makes it a lot easier. But when we go ahead and look at the instant replay right here, again, you're just going to make sure you're pass committing your defense, and you're going to see how a lot of the time you're going to get this loop, all right? Again, you've seen this if you watched MCS. You see how these guys come right through the A gap. This is the blitz. No blitz is 100%, but when you're able to have good pass rushers like Josh Allen, makes your defense a lot better right here. And then you're also able to see on the back end of match coverage, we do a good job on all of these routes. We're sticking right here with our user on this. And then, it's going to adapt to the route concept they have called, but corner routes very tough to stop notoriously, but we have this shut down. So dime 3-2, a great pro defense that you seriously need to take a look at, again, from the Jaguars playbook. Alright, next I'm going to show you the new best way to run nickel double mug. I've never shown this way before, and you're not going to want to miss it because a lot of the top pro players were using this method. Let me show you. Alright, so we're going to come into mid blitz here from nickel 3-3 double mug. Alright, and so here's the thing. You don't really want to run this bot version of mid blitz where you stand right here over the center, because I'm going to be honest, this can work. Right? Obviously, if they take the snap, they block the running back, you have a guy come in completely free. It can work, but good players, like this has been like the meta for like 2 years now, and it's been meta at previous Maddens even before that, so everyone knows how to beat this version. You have to kind of mix it up here, all right? And the best way that you're going to do that is you're going to take Cashman right here, all right? He's going to be your user, and you're going to zone out your defensive end. All right, you can put him in a hook curl, you can put him in a curl flat, do whatever you got to do. And then I like running zone coverage personally, so I would probably set up a route concept, something like this, all right? And here's the thing, you're going to, as soon as the ball is snapped, D-pad switch stick, okay? So you're going to stand probably about 2 yards behind the line right here, so about right here, so they don't think that you're rushing, right? Your opponent's not going to think you're rushing, and so again, you're just going to pass commit your defense, and you're pressing D-pad to the right immediately. All right, and so we're just going to have them send 5 out base protection. So take the snap, immediate D-pad switch stick, and now you see how a guy's going to come in completely free. Now, you need to understand that against certain route concepts, right, you're going to have, or they're going to have guys, possibly open over the middle of the field. So if you want to run more of a man coverage shell, you could certainly do something probably like this, actually, where you run cover 3 on one side, then you run man on the other. This is a pretty good coverage shell that I would recommend you guys use. But okay, we're going to set it up the same way, actually, where we're going to pass commit. Again, I'm standing 2 yards behind this guy, right? And so again, boom, take the snap, immediate D-pad switch stick, and now you see how not only do we have the middle of the field still closed off now, but we're able to get immediate pressure, all right? And so, again, this is the best way to run mid blitz, because I've also talked about previous versions where you overload engage, right? You turbo engage with the line. Well, this, you're still able to accomplish the same overload blitz style, because as soon as you D-pad switch stick off this guy, he immediately runs into the center, which is exactly what you're still trying to accomplish anyway. So then you still create that 3-on-2 advantage right here off the edge, and then you get your guy to come in free. Leaving this guy manned up makes it to where they can't just snap throw a slant over the middle, but you're back into coverage immediately, because again, you press D-pad to the right to immediately D-pad switch stick onto your guy. Right, and you have to use the D-pad, because if you press right, if you use the right stick, you're not going to be able to, just because this guy's blitzing, so you can't do it. So you have to use the D-pad, you immediately D-pad switch stick, and now you're onto this man over here, and so you're able to, even if you need to come back over the middle of the field, you're able to do what you've got to do. But imagine, I mean, the quarterback's on the ground immediately. So again, this is the new best way to run nickel double mug. Do not sit in the bot version where you're sending 6 over the line of scrimmage. Everyone knows how to beat that. When you make these adjustments with the D-pad switch stick, I mean, your opponent, even really good opponents, are going to struggle against this. All right, those first 2 defenses don't even compare to the rest of the 3 setups I have for you in this video. So if you're enjoying so far, comment free in the comment section. I'll send you a free guide to dominate Madden 26. Let's jump right back into it. All right, next, I'm going to show you a toxic defense that literally no one, even top players, hate to play against, including myself. Let me break it down. All right, so that defense that I'm talking about here is going to be 4-3 even 6-1. I'm not kidding. I've always hated playing against this defense, and I'm about to show you why. All right, so we're going to come to Sam Will Blitz right here, and you see how there's now 6 guys over the line of scrimmage? That's really annoying, because realistically, someone can just shift their D-line in one direction, right? So they can shift their D-line to the right here in this, or in the left in this case, or they could shift them right. And so then they're going to have an overload on one side of the offensive line regardless, right? Because if you just, you can see how there's three linebackers on the right side, and there's only 2 linemen. So if I just get the attention of the center, right, we're going to have a guy coming completely free, even if they block their running back, right? So again, we're going to go ahead and send this running back out. And this is similar to like mid blitz, right, where you just have more guys and they have rushers, and so then you're able to see easy pressure right up the middle. This is, you see this and you play against this less than mid blitz, which is why it's a little bit better, because again, no one really gets practice for it. But really what makes this defense so annoying is these nano blitzes, okay? Again, no blitz is ever going to be 100%, but if you turbo engage, right, so you can even drop one of these linebackers out. You can put this man in a curl flat if you want, and then again, you can set up cover 2, you know, kind of behind your defense, right? But as long as you get the attention of the center, so again, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, right? If you get the attention, look at how I just come in free. I actually wasn't even trying to come in free right there, but I do. And even if they blocked their running back, we would have came in free. This is a 6. I mean, this is still, I mean, obviously a 6 against 5, right? And so again, but I didn't even want to come in free right there. They had no choice but to let me come in free. And that's what's so annoying against this particular defense, because when you're on offense, you don't know if they're going to be blitzing or not, right? You really don't know, right? I mean, they could realistically just drop, you know, this man out, and so now they're only sending 5, so you think you have time, right? But you don't, because again, they overload one side, you get the attention of the center, and you see how you're able to get that nano blitz, right? Where you're able to get that defensive lineman to just come in completely free, and then again you get a sack fumble. So this defense, what makes it so annoying is they can either blitz you, so like they can send 6 or send 7 people, or they can just drop into coverage kind of like this and still get pressure on your quarterback. So it makes it very annoying to actually call plays against this defense, because like you don't even know if you're going to get blitzed or not, right? They even have a man back here in coverage to take away anything on this right side, right? And so again, that just makes it very annoying. Again, you can actually run it the same way that I showed you earlier, where if you want to drop this man out, right, you can really just blitz your user, right? So, I mean, there's endless possibilities with this. You can just blitz your user and take the snap, immediately D-pad switch stick, and now you see how there's 2 guys coming in completely free, when again, only one guy or nobody should be coming in free, depending on, you know, how they block the blitz. But even if they block the running back here, we have 2 guys coming in free because the O-line decides they want to double team 43. So 4-3, even 6-1, a very annoying defense to play against just because you have a lot of different variation in do you want to blitz. You have a lot of different ways to blitz. You're going to be able to play great run defense, and you're going to be able to drop into coverage and get pressure whenever you feel like it. All right, if any of these 3 defenses helped you out, go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down defense tutorials just like this on Madden 26 every day, and you're not going to want to miss out on them. Let's jump right back into it. Alright, so I made a YouTube short about this last week. Make sure you go watch my YouTube shorts section so you get access to early content. But I'm going to show you the blitz defense that Henry was using in the Madden Bowl. It's really crazy. Alright, so we're going to come right here into nickel through 3 Cub. Okay, the play is Mike Blitz 0. And yeah, that's the play you want to call. Now, again, you have full freedom of, what you want to do as far as coverage, right? So if you want to run cover 2 hard flat, you want to, drop your guys out, you can certainly do that, all right? But here's the thing. The way you set this up is you want to shift your D-line. You want to shift them right or left. I was labbing this, a couple days ago, and like shifting to them to the left was way more consistent for me. So that's what I recommend you do. Shift these guys, your whole defensive line to the left, because now you can see it's the same thing I showed you earlier, actually out of mid blitz, I think, where if you just overload one side of the line, and then you're going to D-pad switch stick away, you're going to get easy pressure, all right? So I would also recommend you drop the other outside linebacker into a zone because he's not even needed with this. He actually makes the blitz worse. The great thing is also, if he's good enough in coverage, you can like man him up onto a receiver or a tight end. That could be a problem. I also like cross-manning people's running back. It throws a lot of people off, all right? But really what you're trying to do, all right, so we're just going to go ahead and take this snap, is immediately press that D-pad to the right, so that you can immediately D-pad switch stick onto that defender and take everything away. All right, again, so boom, you're gonna stand about 2 or 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and when you do that, the center's already ready to block you because you're the Mike linebacker technically, so he's already looking for you. You blitz, he picks you up, and then you already you're able to play 3-on-2 on this side of the line, right? You're able to just run 3 defenders on the side of their 2 linemen. You're going to be able to switch stick to get back into coverage over here, take away whatever you need to. I would hopefully have like a more pass coverage type of linebacker in this spot so that he can, move, be agile, and do the whole thing. But again, you can set up a similar like cover 3 kind of hybrid defense here, right? Quick adjustments are very helpful and very important for you. So again, something like this, where again you have the running back cross man, you're gonna have your flat out there, and then you have a hard flat over there on the left side. But again, shift your D-line left so that you can get this, overload blitz. All right, so we're gonna have them take the snap, immediately D-pad switch stick, and now you're able to see I'm back into coverage immediately. The main benefit of this, again, is you're not turbo engaging like I've showed you guys, weeks ago, where it takes you some time to get back into coverage. You get the same advantages as the turbo engage, where you get the attention of the center, but you're back into coverage because you're able to use that D-pad switch stick. This is literally one of the best new defenses that no one's really talking about right now. No one really knows how to play against or run because no one's seen Cub this year. It hasn't really been the meta, but you're able to get 3 guys on the side of 2 offensive linemen, and you're going to get pressure every time. And you can see, even if they were to block their running back here, that's fine because outside linebackers and defensive ends are going to punish running backs in pass protection. So 3-3 Cub, another defense you seriously need to take a look at and start taking notes from. All right, this last blitz is for those zone players who don't really want to run man coverage. They just want to have their defense set, but you still want to be able to get pressure. Let me show you nickel 3-3 odd. And it's actually funny because the Vikings playbook actually has defenses 2, 3, 4, and 5. And my Vikings defensive ebook is at the link in the pinned comment after you finish watching this if you want to learn my entire scheme. But 3-3 odd is a good enough formation for you to just be able to run all game, all right? So, I mean, obviously you have match coverages like cover 6, cover 4 quarters, right? You can run double Mabel coverages. And then there's some new blitzes that I'm going to be adding, and I have been adding recently into that ebook. But we're going to come into we're going to come into overload 3 press. Make sure you have auto flip on, safety depth on close, safety width on pinch. All right, we're going to come into overload 3 press, and I always like to practice against bunch formations. It gives you good reps for in-game, but you're going to press RB twice to show blitz, and you're going to look something like this. Now, here's the thing. If you run this defense and you just stop there, everyone's going to just hit you right up the seam. They're just going to put RB on a streak, and they're going to have that pass wide open. I don't know where Trevor Lawrence is throwing that ball, but they're just going to absolutely tear you apart up the seam. I'm about to show you how you can stop it. So you can see it once again right here, where again, I'm not sure where he started. I'm not showing it again, but you guys run this defense, and that's been a complaint that people have been, struggling with, is I'm getting beat at the seam. So all you have to do, instead, put LB or your top safety in a deep half this time, right? Put him in a deep half now instead of putting him in the seam flat. And now you're going to see how that seam is going to be defended a lot better. And then all you have to do is pass commit, right? And you're just going to stand right here over this guard and make a swooping motion down and inside. So again, boom, down and inside. And what does that do? It allows for your slot corner to come in free off of the edge a lot better. Why is that the case? Because essentially now what you're doing, is once you get the attention of 65, 77 is the only one on this side, and we have 2 rushers. So you're basically playing in 2-on-1, and you can now see how there's a huge cluster in the middle of this offensive line, 65, 76, and 73, right? They're all packed in the middle to block 2 guys. And so again, they just leave this man completely free off the edge. Very easy pressure, and you're able to see how, again, we just collapse the pocket very well, and we're able to get another man to come in free. So this is a very routine and simple 5-man blitz that's going to actually get really good pressure. Again, never want to sell you guys a false dream and say that any blitz or this blitz works every time, but like it's very consistent because of the concept. Once you move that guard inside into the left here in this case, you're going to be able to get easy pressure. But if they go ahead and block their running back, this is what makes this defense so unique, is you're able to slot corner blitz them off of the non-running back side. So your slot corner is on the right, their running back's on the left, right? And so when you can do that, a lot of the time the running back never is going to even be able to see your man. So again, I'm going to set up the same way, boom, turn this guy inside, and that's what I'm talking about, where the running back had to step up to block someone else, which again, that time our slot corner didn't actually come in free, but he will come in free a lot, right? So it's really either going to be this man right here that comes in free, or it's going to be your slot corner off the edge. It kind of just depends on what the O-line wants to do. Honestly, like, this man actually could have come in free if he was a little bit faster. But you see how this is what I was alluding to earlier in the video, where running backs can't block linebackers. They just can't. They can't block linebackers. They can't block defensive ends. So even though the running back steps up to block this man, it's just an easy, quick shed, and the quarterback's on the ground. So a blitz like this is very good because you're going to be able to get interior pressure or slot corner pressure. And even if they block their running back, because of your user and what you're able to do with your user affecting the line, you're going to make it to where those running backs have a very tough time blocking the runners that come in free. All right, so again, if you enjoyed any of those 5 defenses, I encourage you to go down below, hit that subscribe button, because I break down defense tutorials like this every single day on this channel, and you're not going to want to miss out. But if you want to learn everything I know on defense, blitzes, coverages, red zone defense, how to stop RPOs, all of it is in my Vikings defensive ebook, and you can use code WELCOME at the link in the pinned comment to get 20% off. I can't wait to help you out on defense.